Hello, all you motorcycle enthusiasts and riders. My name is Mario Krim, and I'm with Motorcycle Knuckle Busters. And today we're bringing you our second episode. And I've got a couple of really great guests, good friends. They're going to join me. We've got a number of things we're going to talk about. I hope you guys enjoy the show. Get a chance, like us on Facebook, follow our page. We're going to have a lot of announcements, a lot of cool things are going to be coming up. But in the meantime, I've got two good friends. I've got Jack Mcintyre and Johnny Marcella. Okay, these guys are they're outstanding individuals, do a lot of good work out there, and we're going to talk about them. We're going to talk about some of the work they have done and are doing, some of the things that recently happened, and what they've got in store for the future. So let's welcome Jack and Johnny right now. Hey guys.
Hey, what's up, Mario?
I'm doing good. How about yourselves?
We're good. Good. No complaints.
Okay, wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. So, guys, I really appreciate you joining me tonight. And we've done a number of things together through the years, and but I'm always impressed with both of you. I mean, I like looking back on kind of storied careers, really. And I think one of the best thing about people in the motorcycle world is that, a lot of people have stories that are a lot bigger than what they're just doing in the motorcycle world. And I kind of want to touch on a little bit of that, if you guys don't mind. It can humor me. So Johnny, let's throw some pictures up of you, because I mean, you've done some interesting things through the years here. So let's see what we got here. So I got two awesome pictures here. And so can you kind of tell me about what we've got going on?
Okay. Well, the first one is my rear engine dragster with my partner, Rob, my best friend. We had three race cars that we started off with a Pro Nova, and then we advanced to the single engine, or the rear engine dragster. And then after that, we went into that's the front engine dragster. We went into a rear engine dragster after that. And we ran Super Pro, Super Comp. We ran a little bit of the circuit here on the northeast section of the country. We did pretty good. We were young guys. And I think I was 18 in that picture. And I was making $5 an hour working for my dad in his hardware store. And we worked, I painted that car in our garage. The engine in it is a small block Chevy. It's my bottom end from my Camaro and his top end from his Camaro. And it went, it was like, I think 890s with that thing went. It was pretty good. We took a loan out for the car. I had Household Finance give me a loan for $2,500 to buy the chassis. Told him I was buying furniture for my apartment, and I bought a dragster instead. And then, they didn't know. They don't give a shit. As long as I paid a bill, you know what I mean? So,
sure.
So we had that, and then we painted that. And like I said, we painted it in the garage, and me and Rob were great partners. So then we did that for quite a long time. And then after we got, married and kids and stuff, we went by the wayside. But the next picture is, I was always into bodybuilding and weightlifting, and I was a wrestler. I went to I was supposed to go to the Junior Olympics in wrestling, but I got beat by a guy who knew a figure 4 leg lock. He put it around my neck and choked me out. And my coach never taught me about it. So he was the guy who won and went, and I took second. But I was so angry that I didn't, because I was a wise ass back then. And when they raised his hand, I punched him in the face on stage. so because I was angry. But then I advanced to bodybuilding, and that was in 1994. I dieted down to 170 pounds there. I did win that show. I won first in my class and the overall.
Wow.
I won the overall. So that was back then. And I'm 58 now. So I want to go back to lifting again, but you know me with all my surgeries. So I'm just healed up, and I'm hoping to get back into the gym. My son and now my nephews are all weightlifters, and they all look like that now. So Well, you met my son out in Sturgis or out in Vegas.
Yep.
He's a big boy. So
Yeah, he's a good kid too.
yeah,
So, really enjoyed meeting him.
yeah. So that's all about that is, you know what I mean? So
Okay. So Jack, one thing, Jack was Marine, and I try to give him a little bit of a hard time once in a while about being a jarhead, but like me, we both served, and we're both brothers in arms, and we always, I found that we always have this mutual respect amongst each other. We might rib each other a little bit, but Jack, you've done some remarkable things in your life. Marine Corps, and started your life. But we look at you and all the photography and things you do, and I mean, you've been very central to this business and motorcycle industry for a number of years. And one of my favorite stories is you talking about spending the day, with Steve and Tyler on the Legends ride in Sturgis. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that day, because I'd love to hear that, and maybe we can get some pictures up from that day as well.
Yeah, these are probably separated by a few years. Every time he came to town, I kind of got assigned to him. So the Legends ride was fun because I wasn't working for the Buffalo Chip at that point. I was private or freelance, but I ended up on the Legends rides with Steven all day. Then we all got lost in the Black Hills. And when we pulled over, he was just a ball of fun. The guy who talks to everyone, and he's happy, and he's dancing around, and he's making fun and taking pictures. And then we pulled into this little gas station, and there was no cell phones back then. Oh, there was, but there was no directions on them. So we're all looking at a map in this little tiny gas station, and everybody's double taking, looking at Steven. Me, Michael, and Steven, and
right.
a few other guys. But he was a ball. Every time I was around him, he pulled me along with him, in Daytona a few times, and Sturgis several times. But yeah, that was a great week. That was the week he fell off stage at the end of the show when it was raining and he slipped right off.
That's right. I remember that.
Hurt himself pretty good. Yeah, but that was a great week.
Now, is that the gas station? Is that where he left his bike behind and had a helicopter come grab him because he was done riding?
Shortly after that, at a different stop.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, he had the bike over to some area, and then I lost him at that point because they came and got him, and they put another biker on his bike.
All right. So, tell me a little bit more. I mean, so you've got an opportunity. I mean, I've seen you up on the stage at the Chip, trailing people at the Legends ride, and just in various places. I mean, so through the years, I mean, between bike builders or performing artists and people like that, tell me some of your more memorable moments, things that stood out in your mind.
Oh boy. Probably starting, I guess, in the 90s, spotting Michael Lichter and deciding that's the guy I was going to shadow.
Right.
And knew it or not, I was right behind him watching everything he did.
Sure.
I decided I wasn't going to just wait. I was going to just go for it, like walk into a place and just take over. And that's kind of what he taught me to do. And that went well, but I don't know how many bikes I've shot either in the Philly area or Daytona and Sturgis, but
worldwide.
Yeah, Italy and different things too. But
yeah,
I got to say that when I'm at the Buffalo Chip and the concerts are going off, and they put you up on stage with the performers or behind stage or whatever, that's one of my favorite things. And then you got the bikes the next morning. It's a great, trifecta of things to do. And that's where all the memories are. The Buffalo Chip and Sturgis.
Jack, you really touched my heart a few years ago because you shot a picture of us when we were giving away a bike up on stage at the Chip.
Oh yeah.
And you sent that picture to me, and that hangs on my wall in the living room now. I just love that picture, and I just I appreciate you and the giving heart that you have. And I kind of want to segue that into the next thing I kind of want to talk about, just overall builds, and we're going to get into the charity builds and what's happened. But let's throw some of these bikes up on the screen because you guys have done some really cool stuff with some builds. Now, Johnny, You know, I've told you many times, I've always loved this bike. I just, it speaks to me. You guys know I like bobbers, okay, and a chop bobber like that is just, it really speaks to my heart. So, Johnny, tell us a little bit about this bike.
That bike right there is actually a Sportster. Well, that's when we first became affiliated with Indian Larry's at Brooklyn, and Bobby and Elise, they came down to the shop. Elise came down to the shop and set our shop up, and they're so good to us. Bobby, you know, I still talk with Bobby. We go to lunch every once in a while. So that's an Indian Larry style Sportster. Now it's done on an aftermarket frame. It's got a 180 tires by 16 on the back. It does have an Indian Larry front question mark rotor on the front. It's an Indian Larry tank, as you can see. And the rest of it is it has that in that picture right there, which we it's an air ride seat. We and a Springer, of course, you can see. But it's all cobalt blue flake with pearl white flames. I did that. I painted that bike in here in the shop. I didn't do the pinstriping in the dish of the tank, but I did everything else.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a nice bike. We built that for a friend of ours. You know, I mean, he ordered the bike and we built that for him, and he rode it next to Bobby in the Aiden ride in Philadelphia, and it was in South Carolina for a while, and I was just able to purchase it back. So I'm going to keep that bike in the shop because I really love that bike. It won the Rat's Hole. When we first got it done, we were down in Daytona with it. We unveiled it in Daytona, and it won the Rat's Hole. So I really like that bike. It's sitting in our showroom right now. So it's a cool bike.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
So let's see the next picture, the next thing we've got. So, no, I've seen you ride this and rode next to you when you've been on this bike a few times. So, so tell us about this one because, you know,
that's my bike. It's called Scorpion King. On the top of the tank, but you can't see there. It's all airbrushed in purple, as you can see, black and purple. It has a skulls and scorpions and our cross, you know, our crosses on it. And I got the nod from Billy Lane on that one. Like it was sitting on not Main Street. It was sitting
we were at the shop outside of the
we were outside of the shop, and he came out and said, "Man, I seen one of your bikes." Well, actually, it was sitting at Daytona Harley Davidson. Okay, when he saw it, we were visiting our friends, and he saw it. And we had an interview with him the next day, so we went to the shop. He goes, "Oh man, I see one of your bikes down here," and he meant my bike, and he goes, "I really liked it." And I said, "Oh, thanks." So I mean, it was cool. It was nice to get him to give me the nod on it as I
absolutely.
But that's called Scorpion King. That's my personal bike. Tracy, my girlfriend, that's the only bike she likes to ride on. So, you know,
there you go.
So I guess I'm keeping it.
That's a good bike then. So, all right. So let's see what we got next here. So tell me about this one. That one
is a War Eagle frame. That was the one I first got started when I built the shop in my garage at my house in Levittown, Pennsylvania. I had a property with a shop on it. And we ended up changing that bike to black and calling it the Slipknot bike, which you'll see a tank in it soon. But that bike was all red flake. That was when Franny and I were together. We painted it at his shop. And that's
you're talking about Franny Drummond, right?
Franny Drummond, right? We were partners.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's like my little brother. But I mean, that bike actually is gone. We sold it. I don't know where it's at, but funny thing is, War Eagle's out of business. I got like a little thing where I really wanted to do it again, and I actually was able to find a frame last year on Facebook Marketplace, eBay, a brand new War Eagle frame. That frame, and I have the tank. I have another tank like that. So after we get done all these other bikes, we're going to put that one on the lift and we're going to redo that bike. I don't know what paint job we'll put on it, but it'll be pretty much that bike, what you see again. So,
okay. And let's see what we got next here. So Jack, as we saw, Jack took some of those, took all those other pictures, but Jack, did you position her or what?
I picked the fifth.
Right.
But that's Michelle. She was.
She fell down. She was looking for her earring.
Okay. All right. That sounds believable. So
Yeah.
anyhow, so now this is a fun bike, and the paint on this is just killer. So now, who did the paint on this one?
That one is a Franny Drummond paint job as well.
Okay.
That was for one of our good customers. He's since passed away. He bought 3 bikes off of us. That is the Wizard bike, we call it. Now, on that bike, I did all the sheet metal work. If you notice, it's got the rear fender is stretched. If you can't see it right now, but everything's molded. The seat area, I made the seat area out of sheet metal and round rod. The tank's molded in. I'm sorry, not the gas tank, but the oil tank. That's all one piece. Franny did an amazing paint job. There's 140 skulls on the back half of the bike. And then there's a Wizard on it. And this bike, we built this bike. As we were building this bike, well, actually, this bike was the second bike because the guy he ordered a chopper. He saw one of our bikes. He was a rich guy. And he ordered a chopper, and he wanted he wanted this particular paint job on that chopper. And then he had a grandson or daughter, I forget what it was. So he, in the middle of the bike, it was a yellow bike. He wanted the whole paint job changed. We're just getting ready to paint it, and he put a picture of his new grandchild on the bike with cherubs. You know what I mean? Angels and shit. So
Right.
So then he came up when he picked up his bike. He had the rest of the money in cash in one hand. He goes, "I want you to build me another bike, a Pro Street, which is this one is."
Right.
He wanted this paint job. He just did. He wanted to do it for his granddaughter first. So
Gotcha.
we built that one for him. And, that was the second bike that we built just because he wanted the paint job. You know what I mean? I didn't want to build him the same bike twice. You know what I mean?
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
So let's see what we got up next. So so explain this one to me.
That's Jack.
Marilyn Stemp got me up one morning at the chip and said, "We're going to shoot to do." And next thing I know, I'm sitting on the back of a little ATV as we're shooting herd riding up and down the back road.
That's Jesse Combs.
Yeah, Jesse Combs.
Yeah.
We did it for a couple of hours, just up and down the road. And it was just a lot of fun because she's a lot of fun. What she was.
She was.
R.I.P.
Right. Yeah, she was a great gal. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, and that's definitely Lichter style, sitting on the back of something,
Yeah.
It's always fun. You kind of talked about Michael and following him before, and I've always been amazed at Michael when you see him back behind the curtains doing shoots and everything else, and he's got the knee pads, he's got the arm pads, he looks like he's going to war and stuff like that, or he's going to put a floor in or something. But yeah, he's always finding the angles. He's always finding the shots, and and yes, he commands the floor and stuff. So, but yeah, that's a great picture, and it just really shows, the landscape there in Sturgis.
One of the cool
So,
things
and then let's see what we got next, guys.
with Michael, if I ever have a question, I can just call him at any hour, and he answers the phone, and he'll walk me through something, or he's on a ski slope, and he says, "Oh, let me get to the bottom of the slope first." And
I love it. Yeah, he's a good guy, and he's always, he's a character, so enjoy him immensely. So I see we got Chris and Pat Simmons here, and looks like now, is this another one of your shots there, Jack?
I didn't mean to send that, but that's good. That's Chris and Pat and Tom Parnham
Of JP.
Okay.
at one of Lichter's exhibits in one of the years, probably 2006 or so, or 2008.
Yeah, and so we might want to mention, if you go to Sturgis, go out to the Buffalo Chip, and the motorcycle art exhibit, which Michael Lichter puts on, that's free. You come around the back side of the grounds, and you can enter in. So you don't need to pay to get into the Buffalo Chip. You can go check that out. And I know a lot of people aren't aware of that. And if you don't go see it, you're really missing out. Every year after year, Michael puts together an outstanding collection of bikes with fantastic builders and everything else. So yeah, it's a lot. Like I said, a lot of people don't know about that. All right, well, let's see what we got next, because I think we're going to talk about this bike. So guys, first of all, I want to say congratulations, because you pulled this off, and you did a fantastic job. I mean, I've loved this bike from day one. Johnny, when you started talking about the bike, everything else, and we started going through this whole thing and what this bike was going to be, and everything else, and to see it come to fruition and make it to Mecum and roll across the auction block. I mean, fantastic. But it was interesting when we were up there on stage, and I think they started that bid out at $20,000, and the auctioneer backed it down to $5,000, and the look on your face was like, oh shit, what's going on here? And then it started to take off, and I think when it hit around 26, I saw relief, big relief on your page because you knew you were going to be able to give a nice check to Tunnels to Towers.
Right.
But how much did that bike end up bringing? I know, but let's tell everybody else.
It brought $40,500 on the auction block.
So $40,500, and now I know you guys are getting ready to go up to New York to meet with Tunnels for Towers.
Mm-hmm.
And we might mention, this is a charity that supports the survivors and the families of 9/11. And Johnny, you were there on the ground. You volunteered to go up and help, and that was something that was very personal to you.
Yes.
So tell me what this all means to you, Jack, what it means to you. I really like to hear, your thoughts.
Well, I was a Ground Zero volunteer. We are our shop is a pro-military shop. There's a lot of military here. And when the first tower got struck, I was actually in my truck, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing. So everybody was, everybody went crazy that day. Nobody knew what to do. And then, they thought that was bad. And the next thing you know, here comes again, there's another plane hitting the second tower. Well, at that point, I didn't know what the pilot to the second plane went to my church. He died, of course, in it. And I didn't know him, but I knew of him. You've seen him. He was a real tall guy. But my father was a Marine forever. So I grew up in that type of an environment, and it just I just want to fast forward to when I was there. When I went up there, my job was to bring the supplies to the people at Ground Zero, and I remember standing in I think it was Pier 54. And I watched a dump trailer go by with burning bodies and pieces of the tower. And it just, it brings a tear to your eye. It doesn't matter what you think, okay, that people are, just perished in this. It was horrible. And then I remember driving, bringing the supplies, and they routed us through Broadway. And on Broadway, there was so many people. I mean, it was unbelievable, the amount of people who were holding pictures like this, begging people, have you seen this person? Crying. And I mean, it's actually making me tear up a little bit now when I remember it, because these people were so sad, and they were just begging, hoping that they could find somebody who, find their loved ones, because this was, right afterwards, and so, I mean, it meant something to me. And then I remember I was getting interviewed when I was getting loaded up to come back again. I was getting interviewed by some, I guess, TV station from Oregon. And the guy said to me, he goes, and you know me, I'm a little bit of a wise ass, but I wasn't that day. You know what I mean? And he says to me, he goes, well, what do you think about this? I go, well, this is the first time that I can remember in history that we stopped fighting with ourselves and were united to fight against the common enemy who attacked our soil. So, fast forward to this bike, we always wanted to do something for Tunnels to Towers. Like my whole arm, I mean, you can see the Statue of Liberty's crying, and then there's the Twin Towers up there, all with angels' wings around it. And then I have everything in flames and shit like that. So my whole arm is dedicated to 9/11. So again, fast forward, I'm sorry to keep saying that, but to this, we wanted to do something to help. As soon as I heard about Tunnels to Towers, which is a great organization. And we did our homework. Like 98% of the money actually goes to the charity. So they're not ripping people off like some charities do. And so we wanted to do something to build, you know what I mean, to help donate. They asked for $11 a month, which I give. It automatically comes out of my checking account. And to help these people, because they give them homes. They pay off mortgages for families who have, you know, who lost a loved one, which not just 9/11, but military families. You know, it's all, you know, first responders and people who are with our country, you know, who fight for our country. And
Sure.
So, you know, $11 is not a lot of money to give. So we wanted
No, it's not.
one of the things that we wanted to do is we do charity bikes, as you know. We've done charity bikes in the past. So this one was kind of near to my heart. So we did try to do a real cool bike, and, you know, to raise some money to help, you know, because we believe in everything that they do. So that's what we did. We built this bike called the Freedom Bike. And you've seen it. It came out really nice. Everybody loved it. And it was nice to see that it brought that kind of money that we can give them a nice donation, a sizable donation to help.
Well, you know, I'll tell you, I might add. So, you know, if you go to House of Choppers Nation, and you can check out the video there. I think we've got a video up on Chopper Show and different places like that. You can see the video of the bike being auctioned. And the reason I bring that up is that, you know, the people of Mecum did a hell of a job. I mean, they worked the floor to get top dollars. So, you know, they embraced what you guys did here as well. I mean, they were totally behind it and really supportive of it. So Jack, how about you? Tell me how that kind of, you know, how that was for you personally to be involved in this.
A lot of what John said, but my ground zero experience was when the first plane hit. We were in Philly, and we had an office up on 90 West Street, which is no longer there, and we darted up there as fast as we could. But my sister was living in Battery Park, her and her husband.
Okay.
So it was hard to get in there because they kind of shut it all down, but we did, and the sights were horrific. So we stayed up there a couple of days. But when we did our charity due diligence, make sure, you know, they were good, especially to get Mecum to approve them. We found out how good they were. And the fact that they not only do first responders and police and firemen, but they did military as well. They build houses for, you know, crippled soldiers, and it's incredible.
Smart houses.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love those things. So the tiny houses, smart houses, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize your sister lived in Battery Park. I mean, so that's literally like right there.
Yeah, their house was ruined, or their brownstone, you know.
Yeah.
But they were moving today up to 56th Street, so well, they got lucky that way. But
okay,
yeah, it was a mess.
Yeah, so that was, man, I can't imagine. So wow, so something, you know, I understand, you know, this was something that was close to both of your hearts, you know, and I would encourage people, you know, Tunnels to Towers, check them out, support these people, and remind me, because I think I remember, but what percentage of donations actually go back to help the people that it's intended for?
98%.
98%. So I think that's really important, you know, in this day and age, because, you know, I know when we were all talking about that and you made mention, and it was like, yeah, absolutely, that should be the charity, because they're actually giving back to those that need it, you know, and I just respect them a lot for that. So, so I want to touch, you know, next I want to talk about, I know we've got a couple more things coming up, and going to be a couple more bikes too this year, right?
Yes,
right.
And I believe one of them you're going to be doing in collaboration with somebody that's a young lady that's on the news, former cheerleader, attorney, everything else, and she's on network television. So that's going to be coming along.
Yeah, her name is Emily Capagno. She's on, at least I think that's how you say her last name.
I think so.
Yeah, but she's on Fox I think it's Fox and Friends at 12 o'clock every day on Fox News Network. And how we got to meet her was the week of us going out to Vegas for this bike. Tunnels to Towers started putting it on social media, and she shared it. And I saw my name. I got an email that my name was mentioned on social media. So I clicked on it and seen who it was. And I go, oh, well, no shit. You know what I mean? That's cool. So I sent her a message and said, thank you. I appreciate you sharing this because we really want to get as much as we could. Well, apparently she had checked out our shop or whatever. Maybe I'm getting that wrong. I don't know. But she liked the bike and she was appreciative of what we were doing. And then we just started to talk, and she was very, very gracious. It wasn't like, oh yeah, no problem, thanks, hit the road. You know what I mean? It was, hey, thanks. You know, you guys are great. Your bikes are cool, blah, 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 all this shit. And I said, so then we said, well, listen, you know, we do charity bikes. If you have a charity that you would like for us to consider, you know, let us know. Well, she went on and sent us like 15 charities. So Jack and I vetted them. And we found a charity, which we're not 100% sure we're taking it yet. She wants us to do it. She says they'll definitely want it. We have to talk with them and get it all squared away. We'll announce that soon. But she's going to help with the public, you know, publicizing it so that we can get as much money as possible. And what we're going to do is that, you know, that Paco frame that we just got back there. It'll be a Sportster-based build, but you know that. You've seen what that Indian Larry Sportster base, so it'll be cool as shit. And we'll announce it as soon as we have it, you know, set in stone, shall we say? You know?
Sure. And, you know, and I want to point out that, you know, just so everybody knows this, that she's a gearhead.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So a lot of people, you know, she's not a pretty face behind the camera. You know, we're not, you know, just the next NFL cheerleader and stuff like this. This is somebody that loves, you know, cars, motorcycles, everything else. So it's not like she's just doing this to put a face on it. She actually, you know, loves this.
Yeah, she's a pretty cool girl. So, I mean, she's been very, very nice to us. And I mean, she's down to earth. She's not just, you know, just because she's on national TV. She wasn't, I mean, she called us, you know what I mean? It was very, very, I think everything is going to go, you know, good. So hopefully next year, if everything goes right, we'll have a couple bikes to take to Mecum in Vegas next year. For charities.
So so I kind of want to, you know, we weren't really planning on doing it, but you guys were talking about it earlier. So I kind of want to talk about the bike behind Jack.
Yeah.
Which one? Oh yeah.
The shovel?
Yeah, the shovel. Yeah.
So we got that shovel there. So 78 shovel, correct?
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. And so let's tell people, because now I think this build's kind of unique, because you guys are you're working in collaboration with a lot of different people to put this thing together.
Yeah.
So and I love the wheels, by the way. Love everything about it. So Johnny, kind of tell us about the build. What's been involved. Tell me about that transmission on there, because I know you swapped out the old one. We've got a new tranny. So basically we built a new bike around a 78 shovel motor, correct?
Yeah. So this is a 78 FLH. It was a bagger actually. And with the new you know, everybody's doing this Cholo style stuff, you know, with soft tails and that kind of thing. We wanted to throw our hat in the ring with one and do one with, we got this bike. This was Jack's wife's friend. Her husband died. It has 10,000 original miles. It's been sitting for 10 years. And people were trying to rip her off on this bike. So we picked it up. You know, we gave her a decent price for it. And we talked with Marilyn and she's getting sponsored. If you can see everybody behind me on the paint booth wall, that's our sponsor wall. So we have, we stripped the bike down to, down to a frame, repowder coated the frame. We had the motor rebuilt by Jack at the Penn Jersey Cycle. It's got 10-to-1 pistons in it. So it's a brand new shovel. S&S carburetor on it. It's got an Andrews cam in it. A little bit of, head work done to it, that kind of thing. Then we swapped out the original 4-speed for a Baker 6-4 with a kicker and an electric start. GMA has sponsored us with brakes. I should say that we also changed out the front end because this bike comes with a 10-inch front brake on it. So we put a 96 Softail front, fat boy front end on it, underneath the cowbells. And so now we have an 11.5-inch front brake on it. So you have a little bit more braking power. Nash gave us a set of handlebars on it, which we powder coated. PM gave us controls on it, which, contrast cut. Franny's doing the paint. Clockworks gave us 2 stretch fenders. We have a brand new tank that we put on it. Dakota Digital gave us the speedometer. Continental gave us the tires. Corbin gave us the seat, which is a cool seat. NAMS, Jeff Zielinski from NAMS is doing the wiring on it up at his shop. We're going to film that on, for our YouTube show. And then, we have some LED lights on it. So it's going to be a pretty nice, Franny's doing the paint. I don't know if I said that. It'll be black and cream. So the stretch, it's going to be cool. It's got, it's a little bit of murdered out, but we did put a touch of chrome on it, which is what we're calling the bike, touch of chrome. So we'll have jet black fishtails on it. You know what I mean? A mild, nice cruiser, brand new shovel. You know what I mean? So
can't wait to see it finished, guys. I got to tell you, because I think that's going to be a fun bike. Love the fishtails. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely fun. So guys, I mean, and that's being done. So, we can follow that build on Iron Trader News, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay. And that's awesome. Now let's, I want to throw up, some of the things you guys do so people can find you and everything else. So, Iron Trader News. Okay. So we've got that. So, let's talk, Jack, tell us about, outside of Iron Trader News, let's talk about the other ways for them to find you, the things you guys are involved in.
Well, on houseofchoppersnation.com, it's a regular blog, but I'm going to alter that shortly to be more focused in the front page on the charity builds and probably a services page, like what we do kind of thing. And then the blogs will be down at the bottom. So, because they kind of take over the whole screen right now. And the blogs basically lead to years and years of galleries of photographs from bike builds and rallies and so on. Above that, you'll see that's my personal Jack Mcintyre photography or photo website. That's just images that you can bring me on to do something or buy images. Iron Trader News, of course, is with Marilyn Stemp. That's her baby, and I assist with that. Then the bottom right there is the image galleries for House of Choppers Nation. It's the old bikepics.org that has been out there forever. But if you're looking for an old rally, I mean, it's loaded with galleries from Daytona and Sturgis and Myrtle Beach and all the good old days, bike builds.
And I'd like to point out, it's just so people know, these are, you find these images on here, they are worth the money to be able to download a high-res image because you can reproduce that. There's a number of different places, from doing canvases just to doing pictures at Kodak at your local drugstore, and you can get them printed up, and they're frameable. They're fantastic. So I definitely encourage. Now, Jack, last year you were shooting bikes in Daytona. Will you be doing that this year?
Well, this year's my 35th wedding anniversary.
Okay, said enough.
I'm gonna miss Daytona.
All right. So guys, I just want everybody to know that, should you you have an event, you got a bike that needs shot, something like that, not Daytona this year because it's Jack's anniversary, but you got a rally, you got something going on, you want somebody out there that's going to give you the best quality work, Jack's your guy. So make sure you look him up. Johnny, if somebody wants you to build a bike, I know, you've thrown some different things. I know you've got a backlog of stuff that's there, but how do they find you and how do they get a hold of you to, all right. Fair enough.
Jack's our partner. So he handles all that, and he just tells me what I got to do.
You can do the contact on House of Choppers Nation. That comes right to us.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, and I know, you guys threw some things up earlier in the year, like, here's a bike and tell us what color and how you want to do set, go from there and stuff like that. So, there's a lot of flexibility. You're not asking somebody to, buy something that's finished off the shelf, but you've got things that are very close to going that they can just throw the paint on, or, you can contract, they can contract with you to do a ground up build. And, I highly encourage people, if you're looking for a quality bike, a builder, somebody that you can sit down with, and get something going, you're the guy. So just so everybody knows, you're in Philadelphia, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So Philadelphia on the East Coast. Now, tunnels to towers. You guys are going to be going up to New York here pretty soon, correct?
We are.
Yeah, probably in a week or two.
Okay.
No, yeah.
So we'll get some information up on our pages, when you guys do the presentation, especially if you get a little video and stuff like that. Follow them, follow these, follow Jack and Johnny and their adventures and everything they do. A lot of great work and everything else. Anything else you guys want to add before we call it a night?
We'll be putting up maybe sketches for our next Tunnel to Tower charity bike, hopefully in a month or so.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're planning on doing
And
another.
I do believe,
So-
I want people to know this. So we're also you're going to be coming out with some shirts about these builds.
Yes.
So people want to be able to contribute and help the cause. Really cool shirts, going to be nice. I know we've talked about them, but they're going to be some awesome shirts. But the proceeds from the shirts are going to help the build. And so it's a nice way for you in a small monetary way. You're going to get something back, but you're also going to help a really great cause. So they can be looking for that as well on House of Nations.
House Choppers.
Excuse me. Yeah. Getting tongue twisted there.
Choppers Nation.
House of Choppers Nation. So you can look that up there and get that done. So,
They're
all right.
And I'll everybody that buys a shirt or contributes whatever will be notated on the sponsor wall when we start that bike.
So
Wonderful.
I wanted to say that, that reason why we put these shirts out to help kind of offset the cost is because we pay for the bike. We build the bike at our cost. We don't ask any money from any of the charities. We're not one of these people where we'll help you, but you gotta, we're duping them into becoming a customer. So this is stuff that we believe in and we cover the costs. Well, we're not rich, us. So, we do sell t-shirts for our shop, Johnny Mac's Chopper House, and Jack designs other shirts besides our OG one, which he has on. So we're going to put up shirts, and what we may do, we also have coffee cups that you can get, and other kind of swag. But what we are considering doing, which we're probably going to do, is every charity bike we do, we may do a custom shirt for that charity, hopefully with that bike on it. So it'll be a bike specific, a charity specific shirt. It'll be a cool shirt. We aren't going to put a piece of shit out there, but we'll have, it'll be a cool shirt, but the shirts, the proceeds will help to fund the cost of these charity bikes, so that that not only you're getting a shirt, but your money that we're not getting rich off of it, but what it's doing, you're inadvertently helping, that charity. If you believe in the charity, it's cool.
So it's a great way to defray your costs for this build, and that's how people can get behind it. And you did the first year totally on your own, and I just hope that people will get behind this year, and it's just going to help you be able to give a bigger check to the charity and everything else as well. So great work, guys. I'm really proud of everything you do. I appreciate you coming on tonight and being a part of this, and I hope that people learn to respect you guys the way I do. All right. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
All right. Good night.
All right. See you, Mario.